Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to the alpha for Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today we set our sights on returning to Footfall in the Furibundus system, to check in with Vladimir Tokara, and possibly to tie up some other loose ends as well. But first, let's go ahead and scan the area, see what other routes we've uncovered. Okay, we've got a couple of new accessible sectors. And you know what, now that we're actually starting to create kind of a direct route through our main planets, we should really start establishing a safer main path that lets us tour them more easily. We never did check out the Cradle of Khepri, did we? The tranquility of the warp voyage was disturbed by reports of frightening sounds and visions that descended upon the crew. Hundreds of people reported knocking and screaming behind the bulkheads of the void vessel, the sound of nails scratching against the hull, and the elongated Aldari like shadows thrashing about the long passageways. The phenomena were most prominent in the far corner of the officer deck, where the new Lord Captain's companion, named Yerliette, had made her home. Ah, yes, I do recall that a few folks mentioned that Aldari don't normally travel the warp. We should probably talk to her about that. Your Grace, there are alarming reports coming from Janus. A number of strange mutations have been spotted among the population in remote agri-complexes. Aside from the obvious disfigurement and the subsequent estrangement, these mutants, called wretches by the rest of the colonists, are coming together to practice a primitive form of religion involving ritual worship of the land. While they display no disobedience or hostility, their very existence is concerning. The mysterious advisors you had appointed to oversee the planet showed unexpected interest in the mutants' vulgar religious practices. They recommend to not persecute the wretches, but to observe them. I mean, I wouldn't really call them advisors, they're more like guests, but sure. The Janus nobility humbly awaits your decision. What do we know about these wretches? Their mutation causes the loss of skin pigment and the shedding of hair. The eyes of some have started developing a nictitating membrane similar to that of reptiles. Others succumbed to the progressive atrophy of the larynx, causing the loss of human speech. At the same time, their tendons become denser and more elastic, providing increased endurance and load resistance. The wretches are commonly ostracized due to their grotesque appearance. There haven't been too many cases of mob justice yet, but they will become commonplace after the mutation's deformities become more obvious. The wretches tend to form groups with similarly afflicted people. Their average level of intellect is low. They all belong to the labor caste and communicate among themselves using a primitive vernacular of their own invention. As for their barbaric religion, they are deifying both the soil and Janus itself. To them, working in agri-complexes is a form of worship, which has had a positive impact on productivity. And what do my advisors have to say about this? Such mutations are common. Commoners' genetic composition is less stable than that of the upper strata, but that doesn't make them any less useful. Right, and I'm sure their nature-worshipping religious practices certainly don't hurt. So they boost productivity and keep the Eldar happy. That feels like a win-win to me. Though of course there might be some unrest as well. From a numerical standpoint, I imagine that would be minus contentment but plus efficiency. Yeah, let's go for it. This is just the alpha. I got no problem with mutants. I take these unfortunate souls under my protection. They are victims of mutation, not demons. Long live the von Valancius dynasty! The mutants were put under surveillance. One of the wardens spotted a mysterious relic in the hands of a group of wretches that turned out to be an item of Xeno origin. It is unlikely the mutants understood the nature of the object they worshipped. Having to live in proximity to the wretches disturbs the good, honest serfs and leads to outbursts of aggressiveness and violence. Item received, Heart of the Nameless. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, some minor unrest, but in exchange for what I'm hoping is an efficiency boost, plus a free artifact. Interesting. Let's have a look at this thing. Heart of the Nameless. Plus 10% absorption versus Xenos. This gem holds the soul of an unknown hero of the Aeldari race. Psychers who have found the courage to touch this forbidden item claim that the Xeno was venerated among their kind as a peacemaker, healer, and public educator famous for great deeds. Oh, well, that's not too bad. Let's go ahead and toss that to Yurliet, our resident sniper. Oh, look at that. Some of our characters can actually use that Drukhari rifle. I wonder why. That seems really random. Maybe it's attached to their starting classes? Rhett's a soldier. Heinrich's would be fighter. Sadly, we're not really set up to use it, but that's good to know for the future. I wonder if Haydari could use it. That might actually give us an excuse to tag her back into the party. Alright, let's have a quick chat with Yurliet. Yurliet stands out from her surroundings like a Janusian jungle tree in a garden of manicured topiary. Unsettling beauty and alluring otherness, and her posture, her gestures, her piercing gaze, radiate from the Aeldari woman. Yurliet, there were some rather peculiar occurrences during our last foray through the warp. The crew seems to think that you might have had something to do with it. Thoughts? Yurliet juts out her chin, and somehow seems even taller than she actually is. The minions of She Who Thirsts could sense my soul behind the thick walls and thin veil that separates your fragile lives from the roiling fury outside. A child of Asuryan that dared to wander beyond the veil, within the reach of an outstretched claw, protected only by the barrier of unreliable Mung-K technology. It is too tempting a quarry for the monsters that serve Silent Thresh. Our ships never venture beyond the veil, and I never traveled the way you do, Mung-K. Elantek, I admit this was a novel experience. There is a hint of guilt in Yurliet's voice. I lost composure, let dismay into my heart, and almost strayed from the path. This moment of hesitation drew the attention of She Who Thirsts, but I summoned my will and used the knowledge of meditation to achieve balance and hide my soul behind an impenetrable wall of resolve. Future journeys beyond the veil will still be difficult, but I will steel my heart, and not let the hounds of Silent Thresh pick up my scent ever again. Oh, good. Well, see that you do those things. So, out of curiosity, knowing the dangers, why did you agree to join me? Is it not strange for an Aeldari to be traveling aboard a human ship? The outcasts my path led me to had a saying. Let me translate it for you. If you fall off a cliff, grab the roots, and do not ask if they belong to a weed or a noble rose bush. For a second, Yurliet's expression changes, She almost grins before continuing in earnest. You are the root I grabbed, Elantech, because I fell off a cliff. My homeworld is gone. My kin are either dead or hiding, no one knows where. By joining forces with you, I may be able to nurture a seedling of the truth I so deeply yearn for. Thank you, Juliet. And you know what? Let's go follow up with Adira too. We haven't really talked to her much since her episode. Listen. Did you see it? The Xenos? I did. Isn't it something? I can't remember Lady Theodora ever keeping one of them on board so brazenly. Which would imply she did keep Xenos on board, just not as brazenly. Yeah, they didn't even lock up the beast. I wonder why. Are they delivering it to the Mechanicus to be vivisected? Or maybe to Footfall to be sold? I can't imagine Juliet would really appreciate that. The tall, middle-aged woman stares straight ahead, her gaze vacant as she rubs the implant at her temple. Her collar is undone, and one of the clasps is on the verge of falling off. Sensing your presence, Adira turns her head toward you and offers you a crooked smile, even as her eyes look right through you. Adira, are you doing better since the incident? Adira smiles softly, almost piteously. I'm not going to lie, rogue trader. I'm not. Maybe I never will be. But I'm not hearing random voices anymore, and I haven't been calling anyone from the other side. No, all that's done with. After what you did for me, I can't let you down again. And you and Argenta? The little sister is afflicted with her own set of voices, ones that whisper to her about corruption and heresy. Adira falls silent, and then, in a different voice, adds, The silly girl doesn't realize that if she wants to find the source, she needs to start by looking in her own head. Oh, I see. Thank you, I guess. I'll let her know. I'm sure she'll appreciate your concern. See you around, Adira. I have gathered quite a crew. Alright, enough distractions. Let's get to Footfall. After I check for new rumors. Of which there are none, so on we go. So much chatter. Seems like most of it's fluff, though. For Abundis. Let's burn a navigation point, make this route safer. I feel like we'll be passing this way fairly often. There we go. Easy as that. Nice. The warp jump passed without incident for everyone, except the crew members on bridge duty. For the duration of the voyage, they heard laughter. It seemed to come from outside, through the airtight seal of the ship's massive windows. The laughter went on and on. I'm sure that's fine. Oh, let's check our colonies real quick. Right, so I guess Ultraquisitors is done. Of course, because otherwise we wouldn't have that rifle in our inventory. And at a glance, we cannot start any of these other more advanced projects. These all require specialty goods. Or reputation, and we just haven't really stacked rep much. Though I can work on that a bit while we're in Footfall. Your lordship, the first ships from Janus have already arrived. The station is no longer facing famine or the predatory interest of the Korda dynasty. I'm glad I've found such a generous and reliable patron. Naturally, your trade empire can count on Footfall offering the special consideration I promised you before. Let's see how that affected our rep. Okay, we're about halfway up. And we've got a fair bit of cargo to hand over, too. Though, I'm not sure he really has any gear that I'm particularly excited about. Nothing I haven't already bought, anyway. That might actually be good for one of our support characters. And that, too, of course, but we have to get like 5,000 more rep before we can actually buy it. Okay, so where are we headed next? Quarantine zone. Let's see if they've opened that up for us yet. So that's Shadow Quarters. Oh, yep, look at that. Mines are gone. Two families were found dead in the southern blocks of the Shadow Quarters, their bodies covered in sores. The area has been quarantined, and all who breach the restrictions are being killed on the spot. No surprise there. The foreman of Utility Crew 3 is whistling some happy tune. So, is the quarantine zone safe now? Well, that depends. We figured everyone who could have died is dead and rotten, and disease and parasites don't usually live in corpses. We threw a few expendables in there, and we can say for sure that it was thirst that killed them in the end, not disease. Oh, good. Well, thank you. Yeah, see, we've got this giant, like, gas vent here, which makes me think of the Anvers down in the sewers. I wonder if there's some relation. Viva Kaspalika! A part of an ancient sewer system. The pipes lead somewhere deep within the asteroid. Right, which again kind of implies it has something to do with the Anvers. He's probably fine. All these people are fine. They're just it's nap time. They're all just taking naps. It's fine.
Victory awaits.
Anvers propaganda. It's been a while since we've seen that.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
A pair of eyes lights up in the darkness. Too big to be human, too intelligent to be an animal. A moment later, the vision vanishes. How peculiar.
It's about time.
All these bodies lying around reminds me of that plague bearer fight. We'll definitely have to stay on our toes. You hear the sound of falling objects from behind the thick sheet of metal, followed by angry hissing. Quiet! I said quiet! Before someone finds us! Too late. I've already found you. Open up. Or not? Please, no need to be afraid. I probably mean you no harm. Not buying it, huh? Fair enough. The sheet is very heavy and must have been propped up with something from the other side, or wedged shut. Moving it seems impossible. I guess we're not getting in there. There is a groove here in the dust, like someone left tracks behind before hastily covering them. Get lost or get shot. I will do neither, thank you very much. And get more Anver's propaganda.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Oh, I see. That's where we came in. So we just unlocked a shortcut between the quarantine zone and the exit.
Follow my lead.
Mutant lair. Mutant lair, mutant lair. That'll make slightly more sense once I actually type it out. Alas, I cannot speak in text. Loosely buried under the piles of trash are bodies with obvious gunshot wounds.
I won't tolerate weakness.
The grimy, scuffed sign offers to install top-quality used implants. There was once a mine entrance here, but it caved in decades ago.
This cannot be.
Oh, crud, we flubbed the check. Alright, we'll come back to that a little later. I believe we established earlier that reloading into the cell will let us try again. Might have to get more Melta charges.
Victory awaits.
Oh ho! Looks like we've got our fight. Mutant Infector. I guess this is the source of our plague. We could try approaching, see if they'll actually talk to us, but I seem to recall that not really working out for us the last couple of times we tried it. Sorry, guys.
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
Moving up.
Nothing of value has been lost.
They explode into poison gas. Good to know.
can't do.
Shadow Quarters disease. Ow. Heinrichs is up next. He can deal with the closer guys.
No weakness is hidden from my sight.
Heinrichs moving up. Nice hit. Oof, that is an awkward template.
Naturally, your reckoning is due.
Lovely. A salesman. Alright, Pascal, let's bring you up to support Rhett. The next best thing.
Request approved.
Cassia. We'll get her on Heinrichs.
If I may.
This is an interesting fight. I mean, these guys go down easy, but
But of course.
in taking them down, we're saddling ourselves with stacks and stacks of poison. So the longer the fight goes on, the more dangerous it becomes.
But of course. Anything else? Was that you? Or
Hi. Can I help you? Alright, Rhett. Let's clear the floor.
Suits my purposes. Trusting me was your biggest mistake.
Momentum!
Nothing of value has been lost.
Nothing of value has been lost.
All too easy.
All too easy.
Nothing I can't do.
Nothing I can't do.
Already done.
Already done.
Watch and learn.
Sorry, I didn't catch that one. Can we tag this guy over here?
Not a problem for me.
Not really. But what if we do this? Well, we tried. It's fine, we've got this. Wow, okay. Heinrichs? You have made a grave mistake, my friend. A grave mistake indeed.
See you gasping in
And we're
prison.
done. Confirmed. Those were the source of the contagion. As if there was really any doubt at this point, but the journal just verified it. Let's see what that gets us.
The world is full of colors I have never seen before.
None shall stand in my way.
Oh, goodness. So I guess serrated knives are not, in fact, a rare variant of normal knives. Small assortment of consumables. Intoxicating elixir. That's kind of fun. A journal of one of the locals. The handwriting is barely legible, but it appears to mark the births and deaths of the inhabitants of the small community of mutants. There is no one to add the last entry here. Oh, don't try to make me feel bad about this. I have no ill will towards these guys. They were just down with the sickness. And I guess that's it. Nothing really notable.
Follow my lead.
No unique gear, no trinkets or lore items. You know what? Let's hit the pause button real quick. I want to load back in so we can take another stab at that demo check. I'm pretty sure that's our stash. The last clue said that it was near a tunnel. And we're back. Here we go. Round 2.
I rise to the occasion.
Nice. Note from the cache in the old tunnel. This is the final stretch, Seeker. Remember the second word. Designs. Remember the place. Cogitator. Statue of the founder. Small temple. Oh, that's easy. That's the statue of Parsimus Dwayne, just up in the atrium. Though we already broke the cogitator there, so I'm really hoping that doesn't screw this up.
I won't tolerate
I'd hate to find out that we actually ruined our chances of solving this puzzle before we even got started. I found the source of your contagion, a group of mutants holed up in the old tunnels. Don't worry, I've already taken care of it. Mutants, is it? Funny thing about mutants. You keep burning them and they just keep popping up. Well, thank you kindly for the help and the details. Patrol won't forget it. Me and the lads will drop by their lair and clean up, make sure there's no disease left. Super duper. Though I will admit I was kind of hoping for a reward. But I guess a rogue trader expecting a reward from a drudge worker is probably a bit much. Maybe from Vladame.
A new challenge for me? It's about time.
This seems pretty statuesque. Aha! And we can enter commands. Realizing design. While you're pressing the keys, the cogitator appears dormant. But as you enter the last letter of the second word, it suddenly comes to life. Triumphant music pours out of it, followed by a voice. A man's voice, pleasant, with a somewhat dated pronunciation of Gothic. Greetings! Greetings to you, keen wanderer, who found my message and solved my riddle. I, Parsimus Dwayne, master of footfall, trailblazer of the Coronis, am pleased to welcome visitors to my magnificent palace in the stars. Footfall is my great creation. It is what marked the beginning of the Imperium's triumphant march into the Coronis expanse. You are here because you managed to discover the message in the Almanac of Footfall, published on my orders, and found the caches I had installed at select sites. You have seen the view from the dome of the great cathedral, the void-piercing arches of the Providence Bridge, the stars' cold gaze through the windows of the small quay. Only thus, step by step, can one experience the scale and elegance of my creation. Footfall sites are their own reward. However, I have prepared a gift for those who might unravel my riddle. Approach my statue, for the gift awaits you there. Remember, nothing must stand between you and your design, no matter how audacious and grand it may be. The voice quiets. You hear a click from the statue of Footfall's founder, as if some hidden locking mechanism has been released. Neat. And I guess we can check out this entry that we didn't see last time. The cogitator flickers and grunts before displaying a tapestry of text. The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer the Coronis expanse and build the most grandiose structure, which will shine through the ages, praising the name of its creator and his descendants. Footfall, the palace in the stars. The glory of the great Parsimus's deeds will live on throughout the ages, and his grand designs. The cogitator hisses and grunts as it tries to clean its insides by spewing out dust and detritus through its cracks. The cogitator hisses for a while, then the screen flickers, and once more shows the words, "The great Parsimus Dwayne intends to conquer." Pascal's Vox wheezes mournfully.
The spirit of this machine has enraged, and will perform its function no more. I will see to it that the profaners responsible for its maintenance are marked for servo penance. Again.
And there's our cache. Focus incense. I was hoping it would have a fancy description. Each consecutive hit on the same target in a turn increases the wearer's weapon skill by +3 for 2 turns. So that goes straight to Heinrich's. And Righteous Fury Cape. Each kill of the wearer increases Righteous Fury chance by 5% to a maximum of +30% until the end of combat. Wow, okay, that's even better. Though, we've actually got a fair array of cloaks at this point, so I'm going to have to put some thought into who actually gets that. Oh, that's weird. Is that unique to Pascal, or... It is not. Well, I will putter with that off-screen. Obligatory reminder, this is just an alpha. Let's go chat up to Kara. And then I think we're at a good stopping point.
Follow my lead.
I wonder if, what's his name would like to see these notes. The architect guy. And nothing from Tokara, so yeah, I think we're done. We'll hit the pause button for now. I will do the usual rounds of off-screen bookkeeping and scout the station to see if there's anything we missed. And we will pick up here next time, as we tie up loose ends and then venture ever deeper into the Coronis. See you then! Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.